I've just been to the 7-Eleven Japan to get some chilled noodles. Hi, I'm Scott. So 7-Eleven have just released this brand new product and it's called Bukkake Himokawa Udon Noodles, and it's a chilled noodle dish. So what does the product description say? It says, this cold udon is served with wide, firm noodles and broth-like sauce with tempura as an accompaniment. So you can see inside it's got pieces of tempura inside there. So this is actually a really famous dish from Gunma Prefecture, and it's really rare to find it in the convenience stores, so I just had to try it. So as you can see, they're actually pretty different from your regular udon, which are usually much thinner than this. And you can also buy them in the dried form, which would make a great souvenir for your foodie friends back home. So what does Bukkake Himokawa actually mean? Himokawa refers to the type of udon noodle that is extremely wide and flat and unique to this region. Bukkake in this context means that the noodles are served with a generous amount of broth or sauce poured over them, often cold, rather than being served in a soup. Now, as I mentioned, this dish is from Gunma Prefecture, and Gunma is really famous for its wheat production. And they're really pushing that in the label down here to say, this is the real thing. If you see in this little black little square thing here, it says Gunma Ken-san Komugi. So they're really pushing the fact that this is the real thing. It's made from real Gunma flour. So yeah, Gunma is famous for its wheat production. So they don't only make udon noodles, they make all kinds of other noodles as well. But the big question is, where is Gunma Prefecture in Japan? It's located in the Kanto region, northwest of Tokyo. Now it's really famous for its hot springs, its onsen, mountains like Mount Akagi, Mount Haruna, and Mount Miyoki. Now it also produces the Daruma dolls, you know those red dolls for good luck, silk, and the Tomioka Silk Mill, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Car manufacturing being the home of the Subaru Corporation, and of course all kinds of tasty food, including Himokawa Udon Noodles. So let's see what we actually get in the package. Now these kinds of noodle dishes that you buy in the convenience store, it's kind of a DIY project and things can get a bit messy. So it's best to have a towel on hand just in case you have any spillages. So let's get cracking. Ooh. There you go, you can see inside all the goodies inside. So we have the noodles, we have some tempura, we have the sauce or the soup, which is right here. And we have some, oh, it's over here. We have some ground ginger and a few kind of scallions, which have been sliced very finely. Look at that. So what we have to do is get the soup and just pour it over. So the soup comes in a little bag like this. Looks like you're going to have an IV drip or something, doesn't it? So it's a beautiful color, and it says tsuyu, tsuyu on the front there, which basically means like the soup stock, the stock that you, it's not a stock, it's like the soup, it's like the stuff. What is it? It's tsuyu. I've got my computer right down here, so I'm just going to put a towel over it just in case I spill anything, for goodness sake. Okay, now let's get going. So you just go like this and pour it over. Oh, I love the smell of these things. So lovely. Now, at this stage in the operation, the noodles are on the top, the soup bit is on the bottom, and you've got to mix them through to get the flavors all mixed together. So let's give it a bit of a mixy-mixy. This can be a bit of a job. Okay. And the pièce de la résistance is this part here. So these are going to add a nice little accent. The ginger, a nice fresh ginger, some chopped scallions. There we go, look at that. Does that look good or what? Now, can you believe this comes from a convenience store? Lovely, jubbly. So let's go in for a bit of a waft. bit of a smell. Oh yeah. So the smell, mainly the smell is coming from this soup. Which has got a lot of dashi. You can just, you can almost taste the umami coming from it. Oh, which one do I smell? This one or this one? I'm going to go with this one. So it's kind of like the, I don't know, is it katsuobushi, like the dried bonito flakes? There's all kinds of things in it. The smell is very rich. It's like your typical tsuyu, the sauce that you use for a lot of cold noodle dishes. Oh, it really gets your appetite going. Now, so I gave it a bit of a mix through. So the real interesting point about these particular noodles is the thickness. So normal udon noodles, you know, they're quite thick. It's almost like a chopstick thickness. But these it almost looks like some kind of pasta dish. And they're actually quite tricky to get hold of with chopsticks. So I consider myself quite handy with the chopsticks, but I've dropped these a few times. So let's give you a bit of a close-up look. You can see, yeah, they're pretty big, pretty long, I should say. If we take like a long one and just see how long it is, let's go from down here. There you go. So they're quite long. Okay, shall we just go in for a bit of a taste? Okay, first, let's make a bit of a comment on the noodles itself. So I'll try not to slurp. I know some people don't like that. So the thing you're getting here, as with all udon noodles, is the texture. In Japanese, they say mochi mochi, which is kind of like a bouncy, a chewy. It's very difficult to explain mochi mochi, but it's not chewing gum. That sounds really bad, but it's like something when you bite into it. And it's not like al dente, as you would talk about in like Italian cooking with pasta. It's completely different. It's very unique to Japanese food, but it's really kind of like chewy in a good way. Okay, let's try and mix more of the kind of the soup together and have a real mouthful, eh? Oh, look at that. Oh. Okay, I'm just going to straighten here, okay? Just a whole combination of that lovely umami taste and, you know, the simple wheatness of these noodles. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like art. It's like a work of, look at that, it's a really long one, isn't it? I tell you, these are much more difficult to eat than they look. I don't know if it's these chopsticks, they're kind of shiny, these chopsticks. If you use the chopsticks that you get from the convenience store, they're just like wooden ones, you know, the waribashi ones. But these are kind of slippy, they've got kind of a coating on them. I don't know if you can see, probably couldn't see there, but difficult to eat. So let's see, how about the tempura? Let me find. So the tempura's got various vegetables. I don't think there's any seafood in it. It's like onions and carrot and that kind of thing. Difficult to see because it's covered in tempura batter. But let's try the tempura itself. So the interesting thing about the tempura is it's kind of broken up into little pieces. So normally when you have tempura, it's like one big thing and you just take bites out of it. But this must be the way they do it with this particular udon dish. It's in little pieces, little kind of bite-sized pieces like this. Maybe because it's easier to eat and you can get it all in one mouthful or something, but it's interesting. I've never seen it quite like this. Wow, okay, so for a rating, I'm gonna give this 4 stars out of 5. It's a really traditional dish, which you're really lucky if you can find in a convenience store to have such a traditional dish, which you can't normally find. I didn't give it 5 out of 5 because I wanted a little bit more tempura. Absolutely no complaints about the quality of the noodles, really cool. And the sauce, the tsuyu, is absolutely delicious. So the only thing which kind of took away from it was the fact that I would have liked a little bit more tempura. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching and we'll see you in the next video.